st4rk has picked Slavs on Arabia, first game Arabia, and I think we had the exact same map generation actually between Daud and Tim earlier on today. So anyway, if I'm not mistaken though, Nicov playing with the Aztecs in the north of the map, so all-round Civ with the least weaknesses of all of those civs which are expected on Arabia and from those top-tier civs. So, well, it's tricky to play Slavs against Aztecs, especially against monks, so he'll have to get some light caps or some scouts involved at some point for sure. And Nicov going for the lame right away. st4rk will see the scout, so I'm going to be curious how st4rk is going to deal with it. Let's actually play with the original colors. On the other hand, well, nah, purple and blue is not that nice, not that easy to distinguish. Okay, st4rk, luckily for him, found 2 more sheep. I think that's all of his sheep. Yeah, he does not have more sheep to take. And wall-wise, it's not that hard to wall, but still quite some work. But I don't think it's a fast castle map. But, well, with a lot of walling, it's still doable. Like, he could... Well, if he really wants a fast castle, why not? He can wall here, there, and then the berries can be taken out by a tower though, so that can be an issue. Also, the woodline can be reachable, and he could wall there, there, and there, make a lumber camp here as the second lumber camp, and there. I don't think that's going to happen, and that can backfire against someone like Nicov. So he has to scout well to see if Nicov is having a fast castle map. Of course, we, with our all-seeing spectator eye, see that his map is actually way worse and not really suited for a fast castle, in my opinion. He would need to wall a lot, like here, there, maybe there. It's still possible, like it's not endless amounts, but I don't think it's recommended. But st4rk is instead going for the greedy approach, pushing in some deer, while Nicov is trying to find something to lame. Actually, it's not that ideal when we have old G colors. Well, we are on red now, so it's fine. Nicov playing in the red trunks, st4rk in the blue trunks. So, yeah, no damage being found for Nicov. st4rk transitioning his 4th villager to wood fairly early, so that may indicate men-at-arms. Could be scouts as well though, so gotta keep an eye out for that, especially since he took... Did he even manage to get a deer in? Like, I'm not sure if he had a patch of 4 deer or only 3 deer. Well, Nikov's build is looking like he's going either Drush or it's men-at-arms because he does not have a barracks on the way yet. His wood count is... yeah, he even went for a farm quite early. I like it, especially for a man-at-arms build. You don't need the barracks, like 2 population before you actually click up. As soon as it's going up, like... even shortly after you go up, it's completely fine, and then you'll have more food in the bank. He's just now going for the barracks, still relatively early. For not too sure about his 4 on wood opening. Now that's what experts often like to do. 21 population with a 4 on wood opening. I'd be surprised if that's going to work out. But maybe. Actually, he manages to click up 21 pop. Well, a little bit of idle time. He had town center wise though, like 4 or 5 seconds, but that's negligible. And he's on the way to the feudal age. Why don't we have this overlay? There it is. st4rk is going for the same thing. I'm not sure about that barracks position. Why he's not building it in front of his berries? Maybe he's scared of losing it later on. But then again, it's not in range of his town center fire as well. If men-at-arms are trying to hammer it down from the other side. So militia production going strong for Nicov. 3, well, I'm not too sure about him sending them out one by one, but he is a player with a lot of awareness. I presume he knows that he knows exactly when st4rk clicked up. Oh, he's actually going for deistic build of man-at-arms where you don't even have to go onto gold. But now he's taking some gold. Is that going to be one, 2 villagers only for fletching, or I'm not sure. But st4rk actually going for his own man-at-arms. So didn't expect that. But they get free supplies, so huge discount. I think that's 40 food if I'm not mistaken for each man-at-arm. No, it's 45 food. So if he wants to keep producing, of course that's rarely needed, especially if the forward is not being played here, which isn't. Nicov is going for an archery range, so that's a third on gold. Wants maybe a skirm and then straight archers. Well, st4rk will be able to take out those man-at-arms once his man-at-arm upgrade is going to kick in. Now the question is, which eco upgrades are both players going to play with? 7 on wood for Nicov on his main wood line. No horse collar. And sending a 5th on gold even. So he might be thinking about adding in eagles. So is he actually going to show us the meta archers and eagle production to transition into eagles then? Maybe. Well, still staring contest between both of those man-at-arm numbers. In my opinion, st4rk should definitely seek the fight here. He has the stronger scout. Sure, he does not have full HP on one of his man-at-arms, but as long as Nicov keeps roaming around here, he can still be annoying, like hide his man-at-arms and strike in like 5 minutes somewhere and still take out a villager. Then, of course, it's not too big of a deal, but it can be still quite annoying. Let me quickly close the window. Okay, I have to put on quite a couple more clothes as well, because it's fairly cold. So now we see the man-at-arms and the archers engaging. st4rk lost all of his extra man-at-arms though, so he wanted to take advantage of the free supplies. And now, oh, holy smoke, he is panic walling to that wood line. He's not even managing to get that. Well, he narrowly manages to get that wall up. Man-at-arms and archers working on that piece of wall. What is st4rk doing? He does still not have an archery range. Yeah, that's the problem if you don't have vision. Either you have to use your scout to keep getting vision, he took out one archer with it, or you have to just commit on those man-at-arms and like go for that blind archery range, something like that. Now Nicov has fletching as well. He's doing so much damage. Honestly, that can easily be the GG in a short moment as well already. The st4rk is forced to abandon his berries, going to lose a villager there. That man-at-arm is not going to achieve anything either, just taking a few HP of those archers. Oh, looking darn grim for the st4rk. Let's check the economies. Well, villager count-wise, he is only slightly behind, so that's still salvageable if he has army count, but he doesn't. What is his army even? Just a few man-at-arms. He's still producing man-at-arms in his barracks. Hoping he can hold against archers, but nah, I don't think that's going to happen. Well, if Nicov is not reacting and st4rk is getting the surround, then the man-at-arms taking the archers out. They're taking 2, 3 archers out, 4 archers? No, 3 archer kills. 6 men-at-arms. chasing those 5 archers and that 1 eagle. That archer is dead and out as well. Oh, went better than expected for st4rk actually, even though he doesn't have the defense upgrade. But still, like, those archers can just hit and run those men-at-arms. Sure, he got a few kills because Nicov was probably looking at his economy or something. Oh, he is about to click Castle Age as well. It's 18 minutes, that's 20 minute 50, something like that as a Castle Age time. Really crisp play by Nicov. He went for that 1 lumber camp approach, men-at-arms into 1 range, straightforward play, while st4rk is still so deep in the feudal age. It's not even close to thinking about clicking to the Castle Age. He doesn't have a defensive tower either, going for a stable now. Is that for scouts, or what is he planning to do with that? Not being on stone either to drop some defensive towers. Let's speed things along even still. Blacksmith wall. Is the blacksmith even going to go up? It might gonna be denied. Yeah, probably not, because that 1 villager seems to be completely out of range of all of those archers. Unless Nicov patrols into that small tile on no attack stance, then he could have maybe ranged it. The house walls behind that, while buying a little bit more time with those men-at-arms. Not too bad, not too shabby. But, well, sure, he's playing all the way to champions as Slavs. But it's not like Aztecs don't have answers to champs. Aztecs have access to Jaguar warriors, which kills about all types of infantry in the game. Aztecs have really good monks, so he can just opt to convert all of those longswords later on. Now he has crossbows as well. And if st4rk wants to deal with crossbows with mangonels, then he can convert them as well, just getting redemption in that case, and it's not too rare to see monks being played against Slavs as Aztecs. Well, a stable transition, double stable play by st4rk, and well, he's at least temporarily banking a couple more resources since he's up later, but he's going to fall behind very shortly again. Second town center coming down by Nicov, 3rd one probably being planned out as well. No, he's actually going for the push. He wants to end it. He doesn't want to risk anything. Not sure why. Like, he can easily boom it out. But on the other hand, st4rk doesn't have answers. He's still stuck in, well, not really stuck, but he's in feudal age. He can't do anything. Well, it's actually a good move. I like it that he went for the siege workshop. Like, he doesn't have to kill st4rk with it. He can just force st4rk into his own siege workshop and delay st4rk's boom even more. Like, st4rk is probably... Wow, look at how low his wood count actually is. Him having to run from so many resources. So sure, he's producing knights, but Nicov is adding monks. And, well, he stopped the crossbow production though. Not sure why. Well, he wants to be able to keep affording monks, that's the highest priority. They could sneak in a couple more crossbows, but interesting play by him. He thinks he won't need them anytime soon. Well, st4rk is just... Oh, he's going to counterattack. Well, 4 knights. What are they going to achieve? Probably not too much. But Nicov just ventured out to make his 3rd town center out there. So at least they're going to force those villagers to garrison. And Nicov actually doesn't have defenses at home. st4rk can run in unless Nicov gets a gate up. No, he does not. He's building a few gates. Not going to do all too much. So actually st4rk doing some counter damage. Nice move by him to go for the counter attack. One villager down, but the entire woodline is going to be quick walled the moment St4rk arrives. No, it's not. He could have taken out another villager. Not sure why he keeps walling. Of course, Nicov is one of the fastest quick wallers out there in the biz. So there's no point to look for too many angles if you go for a counterattack. He dishes you out a villager to take out, you take it. You don't run past it and try to be greedy to do a lot of damage. But well, St4rk is in a bad position, so he's desperate. It makes sense. Like, it's not like Nicov nails those quick walls successfully 100% of the times, 90-something% of the times. So yeah, when you're so heavily behind, why not just try to be lucky and have him make that horrible mistake. Nicov even bringing the relics to the front monastery. Well, it's Aztecs. Aztecs relics help a lot. How much eco does it equal? Probably like 2. Nah, not even 2. Not even only 2 villagers. Like 3 villagers per relic on gold is the equivalent. For Aztec relics, that is. For generic relics, it's more like between 1 and 2, from as far as I'm aware. More monk production by Nicov, actually. On the way, and now St4rk is pulling in those men-at-arms again, so this monk is going to go down. Unfortunately for St4rk, Siege Workshop got denied. Why does... Oh yeah, right, that was the starting Siege Workshop of Nicov. Well, not too bad for him to take a mangonel with his mangonel. The problem is now he has no answer to St4rk's mangonel, but he's heavily outbooming St4rk. Look at that villager difference already. That's 23 villagers. And I'd imagine... I wanted to say I'd imagine Nicov being quite close to clicking up, but he's quite busy. He is not managing to get the farm counts out on the field in time. So 1000 wood already banked up. So he could have been close to banking the resources to go up already. But even with that farm count, the fast working Aztec farms, all he needs to do is cancel most of the villagers in his queue, maybe idle his 3 town centers, and then he can click up almost in an instant as well. Well, he doesn't have a market, so he'd need a market to sell some of the wood, or a massive eco change to send a lot more to gold, but I don't think that really makes sense. 2 conversions actually for Nicov as well. Well, what can St4rk really do? Maybe be lucky and have Nicov move all his monks to the front. Good move by Nicov. He's just going for monks because he figures the only way he'd lose is if he plays greedy, if he tries to go imp. To get graded to death by just knights, so he is going for a lot of monks. 3 monasteries at home, that's not that natural of a decision actually. Like normally you just streamline it into Arbalest, something like that, once you have that many numbers out there. But he just wants to play it extra safe. Like sure, your transition into imp won't be as powerful and as fast, but you just do like every possible measure that you're not dying to knights or not losing a lot of economy for in case St4rk is playing what he should, what in my opinion would have been the only way for him to come back into the game, to go for massive knight raids. But maybe that monastery play opens up another door. Like for example, if St4rk would go for massive light cav numbers now, but I highly doubt that St4rk has the economy for that. Well, he's still massively on gold. He is 24 farms, and he's researching long swordsmen. What is he trying to achieve with those? Does he not know that Nicov is going heavily into monks? He sees 2 of those of those monasteries, and he should know that longswords is not a counter to monks. If anything is a counter in that constellation, it's monks to longswords, but not the other way around. Let me take a sip of water. And he has to be expecting Nicov to be on the way to imp, right? Trying to go for a push, trying to punish Nicov, investing a lot of resources to go to imp. But Nicov has the monks, he could get redemption if he wanted to. I'm sure he has the resources or at least a market that he can immediately do that if he wants to. There was even an eagle in the queue, but he's not upgrading those, so maybe a misclick, maybe a wrong hotkey or something. Seems like he actually is going to play Arbalest Monk. Also looking at the food count which he currently has in the bank. Well, I would say capped ram from this siege workshop might go down, but then you can get another ram out and play from there. So he goes for the safer option to just... Well, he has another siege workshop, so makes sense. I like it. He's researching capped ram from home. That siege workshop might... no, it would have gone through there, but of course that's really hard to assess before it happens. He's researching Arbalest, chemistry, and has Bracer already as well. I really like, without even kidding, that he did not research a single defense upgrade for his Arbalest, because he doesn't need to. He's not playing against any ranged units. He was just saving that food, and hence he's going to get to capped ram and now to siege ram as well faster. The question is how much is that the play to try to go for a ram push now? Sure, you have a lead, but you could also use the lead to get relics, unless he already has all 5 relics. Well, he has 4, I think. Yeah. That makes sense. Maybe he thinks like, okay, if I give... maybe he doesn't notice how far he's actually ahead. If he gives Stark more time, there is a risk that Stark gets to Družina champs with siege onagers and scorpions behind. So he rather doesn't want to take that risk and go for a straight push. There's nothing Stark has to offer to hold against it. He's stuck in the castle age, he cannot deal with it with mangonels as well. So why not, when having a chance to cost efficiently push now, why not now? Why postpone it into mid to late Imperial, where your opponent also has decent upgrades and Imperial army, maybe onagers, whatever. While now you just have such a strong army that he's just showcasing us how this is the safest approach to actually go for a push. Stark desperately trying to get some counter damage done. Nicov forgot to turn on that farm auto receipt thing, or maybe he's just not automatically receiving them intentionally. Because what does he need food to invest into? What does he need food for to invest into? Well, he's saving up for a Jaguar transition, and they're queuing up 10 spears from his home barracks. Wow. He really wants to make sure that he doesn't lose more than he needs to at this counter rate, which Stark is dishing out right now. Gotta love this move, heavily focusing his wood economy on stealing Stark's wood after building that, slamming down that castle with probably that massive group of villagers. And now he's just playing it more safe. He's not bothering with trying to ram push a castle with only arbalests, which are Aztec arbalests. They don't get the last armor upgrade. He doesn't even have a single one. Just wanting his economy to stay more flexible. But I think he doesn't have the actions left as well to just queue up a blacksmith upgrade. There are just way more important things to do, like saving villagers there, keeping the trap production here, and just pack them immediately so you dish out the damage before you give Stark even the slightest of a chance to get to the Imperial Age. And finally, that counter rate has been cleaned up as well. So this game I don't really see a winning condition for st4rk anymore. Like maybe if Nicov loses consciousness and falls from his chair or something, then st4rk can take it back. That's what he apparently is hoping for, or he's not warmed up just like Tim last game. At least that's what we're assuming, which is why he keeps going to get into shape, to get his fingers and his mechanics to a point where he can compete. And now another castle. Gonna love this move. Sure, it's not protecting all too many resources, but it's just such a positional castle again, which we've seen a lot during the last games as well. Like some lower level players, including me, sometimes would tend to build a castle like while pushing somewhere at the sides to protect extra resources or something. But you have a push going, you have to secure that push doesn't get stopped. That's also one of the ways how you can throw it. So you have to build the castles inside your push to just secure the push, to do damage, to get through, to take out things of his. And then sure, st4rk will get this position, but with which economy does he want to use this gold to produce knights from this extra gold, right? And now st4rk going for another desperate counterattack, being chased immediately by a couple pikemen. Does st4rk build more barracks? Yes, he did. So he has a decent, relatively decent pikeman production going on as well. Garland wars on the way too, so he just doesn't stop. He wants to close this game out. So of course, he still needs attack upgrades as well for pikes, but honestly, he's just better off investing those resources immediately into new pikes. Even well, now not anymore. He's 200 pop, but a couple moments before he was, since his food economy is just so tiny. Also, the last desperation, the last desperate attempts from st4rk to find his way back into the game, or to get warmed up. Nicov is trying to deny immediately as well, but honestly can't blame st4rk too much to just try to use this as a warm-up to just keep going for almost until the last villager. Since st4rk, from what I'm aware from his stream, he usually doesn't find too much time for streaming and practicing as well, working a lot. So while Nicov, I think, is full-time, I'm not completely sure. Yeah. Like, imagine st4rk just came home from work while Nicov is well warmed up. So he has to get in all the gameplay he can get in the meantime. Crisp uptime by Nicov, even though he... Oh, he is? Okay. Wasn't aware of that. But even then, like, I think he still has more time to his disposal than st4rk, looking at his streaming patterns and such. So we got better KD for Nicov, of course, buildings raised. Way more resources, of course, as well. And I think that loss for st4rk was just decision making, having not gone for an archery range or for something like scouts. Endless man-at-arms production just put him so far behind also in terms of castle age time. And of course, with only man-at-arms, if you don't go forward as well, you can't kill someone who is going for archers. And if you wait for a long time, then you can't go forward anymore either. And he didn't even have the presence in terms of numbers. And by the time you can basically get enough militia out, Okay, El Dorado is going to be the next map. Your opponent already is about to research fletching on a couple archers which he has on the field and can out-micro and outrun you forever.